Welcome, everybody, and happy May 7th.
Yes.
I get the day right?
Yeah.
Yes, I did. Okay.
Welcome.
Mix It 3 is here with you right now. It's Cliff, it's Natalia, and you. Thanks for joining us here today. Hope you're doing well.
Thank you, thank you.
Yes.
Yeah. And like we like to say, it's always 5 o'clock somewhere because you see here, we're about to celebrate something.
Even more if you're DVRing us at the time and you watch this a little bit later. So a good day. It's, again, good to have you back.
Thank you.
After being gone for so long.
I know, it's good to be back.
Yes.
Yeah. I know. Can you believe it's May already?
No. Where did Valentine's Day go? I really don't.
Yeah.
The year just seems to be going faster and faster. And I know everybody says that. It really sounds cliche, but yeah.
It's so true.
The kids aren't even out of school yet, and it almost feels like it's going to be like this before it's time for them to go back to school.
That's what I told you earlier. I think like this month is going to fly by. And you said, yeah, April was the same thing.
April did. April really just flew by. Before you knew it, Masters Week was gone.
Yep.
I mean, Easter had already happened, the solar eclipse, cicadas in the air, and just everything. Just nuts. Yes.
So many things happening. And as a matter of fact, always something happening here in town that we always like to highlight.
Hi, you like that segue? Yeah, that's what we do. That's what we practice here throughout the day. Yes, but of course, and that's the reason why this show is here. So we've got some stuff that we're going to be telling you about. Also, you know what today is?
Tuesday.
Yes.
And
it's the 7th.
yes.
It is also National Cosmopolitan Day.
Oh, okay.
See, this is how we circle back to the beginning, everybody. It's National Cosmopolitan Day. It's better known as the Cosmo. The drink is a combination of vodka, triple sec, lime juice, cranberry juice, whatever else you want to throw in there, as long as it's got the main ingredients.
Yes.
Right?
Okay, so let's talk about the roots. The roots of the Cosmopolitan came from a drink called the Daisy from the 1930s. So this version had gin, Cointreau, lemon juice, and raspberry syrup.
I'm smiling.
Okay.
I'd have said the same thing.
Yes. Okay, so similar but sweeter than our Cosmo. Okay, so the Cosmo was popularized by the movie Sex and the City since it was a favorite drink of the actors in the series.
Okay.
So before Carrie Bradshaw and friends enjoyed the drink, it was enjoyed by Madonna and other celebrities.
Oh, lots of other celebrities. So want a Cosmo? If that you do, well, here's an amazing recipe you can easily make at home. Just grab your cocktail shaker. You get 1.5 ounces of vodka, 1 ounce Cointreau, some orange liqueur, half an ounce of fresh lime juice, fresh preferably, and 1/4 ounce of cranberry juice. You just strain that into a chilled cocktail glass, dipped in sugar. Then you garnish with an orange peel, and voila. Now, we don't have the orange peel.
But we have everything else that was.
Yes, we do have everything else. So, here,
so cheers.
Yes.
Okay.
Try not to
Happy
spill this because our
Cosmo.
director would kill us if we did that.
Yeah, happy Cosmo, National Cosmo Day. It's good. I like it.
So it's good. It's a little tart. It's good.
Yeah.
You know, I was always more of a brown liquor guy, I guess. But yes, this also works well too.
But the tart, I think it comes from the lime juice. So.
Oh, that's true. Very true.
But it goes so well with.
Well, this can actually help you make new friends.
Okay.
Speaking of making new friends, it can be hard. Research shows rekindling an old friendship, that can be just as scary for people too. So this is what researchers found. For people hesitant to reach out to an old friend, well, they're just as hesitant to do that as they are to strike up a relationship with a stranger or a conversation with a stranger. Are you surprised by that? I'm not really.
I'm not either. You know what? Because I can understand. I have friends back in town that I haven't reached out in years, like from middle school and even high school. And I don't know how I would feel by reaching out to them today. It could be scary.
No, you bring up a good point. People change, times change.
Yeah.
I have noticed, actually, talking to people that I knew in middle school and high school that I didn't really hang out with a lot, or we just didn't get along at that time.
Right.
You run into them years later, find out you may have more in common with them than you thought. It's a real surprise, and sometimes almost a smack in the face to see how some of your old friends have changed and some of your old not so friendly people have changed in opposite directions.
Exactly.
So yeah, sometimes it's a little difficult. Sometimes I'd rather talk to a stranger.
That's what I was gonna say. I think it might be, for me, it might be easier to make a new friend than talk to an old one that I haven't spoken in years.
Well, I can use all the old jokes that I've used on the old friends for such a long time on the strangers. That's all new to them.
Ta-da!
See?
Yes.
Yeah. This study was done by 2 researchers at 2 different universities. They did this research because they were old friends and they rekindled that friendship. They were PhD students that went off on their own research. They met at a conference again years later, and that's where the conversation about this study started. So very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, they found on their study that even when participants wanted to connect, thought a friend would appreciate that they were connecting and had the contact info, had the time to message, all things working out, and they still only a third of people did.
Well, there you go. All right. So
there you go.
Say hi to a stranger, would you?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, moving on. So do you buy plant-based meat to be healthier? So if so, it may actually not be better for you than regular meat. So we know that diets rich in plant-based foods are good for your heart and metabolic health. So many people have been replacing hot dogs, hamburgers, and chicken nuggets with plant-based meat alternatives. So these products are designed to resemble the taste and texture of meat, but a new study finds they may not provide a heart health advantage.
And sometimes they don't even match the flavor and the taste, right?
True.
Researchers in Singapore followed more than 80 subjects over 8 weeks. They have found that no significant improvements in the LDL cholesterol among those eating the plant-based meat substitutes versus the traditional meat. Those on the traditional meat diet, they had better blood sugar control. So instead of replacing the traditional meat with plant-based meat substitutes, just substitute meat with healthy plant-based foods, like fruits and vegetables and beans and whole grains and nuts and seeds, you know, the natural stuff instead of the stuff that's being man-made.
Okay, so here's the question. Have you tried any of this plant-based, like patties, burger?
I have. I've tried the, you know, I guess the Beyond Burgers and the different types of plant-based stuff.
I have not. I'm curious.
Some of it's good. Some of it is not. There's a lot that they still need to work on too.
Yeah, I'm curious. So, maybe we should try it on air, because I haven't tried it yet.
Just enjoy a good burger, would you?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, coming up, we're going to be talking about a nonprofit organization and how they're helping underserved communities through scholarships to increase their access to higher education. That's next here on Mix It 3. Asian Americans, Native Hawaiians, and Pacific Islanders are one of the most overlooked groups in higher education. For the past 2 decades, a nonprofit group called the APIA Scholars has been working to help reduce financial obstacles and increase access to higher education for this under-recognized group, which also consists of historically underserved subgroups.
That's right. Zana had the chance to speak with the president and executive director of the APIA Scholars, Noel Harmon.
Joining me this morning is the president and executive director of APIA Scholars, Noel Harmon. Hi, Noel. Thanks for speaking with me.
Hi. Hi. Thanks for having me.
Yes, this really is a timely interview. Tell us more about the community you serve and why it's so important to celebrate them during Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander Heritage Month.
Well, yes, so we are 25 million strong and growing. We're one of the fastest communities in the United States. We have 48 different ethnicities within our community, and we speak over 300 different languages. So we're really a very vibrant and diverse community, and we're excited to celebrate that in May.
Yes, ma'am, and thank you for speaking with me about this. What challenges do you believe this group faces when it comes to higher education?
Yeah, so I think the biggest challenge for our community is really the model minority myth, which you might have heard of. It's this myth that really it says that all Asians are the same and that we all are doing really well and are very successful and we don't have any need in our community. And that just is not the case. We actually receive less than 1% of philanthropic dollars. And part of the reason for that is just that that myth that's out there that we're doing fine. And so it's really important for us to kind of be on this bandwagon and beat the drum for the idea that we are not a monolith and that it's really important to recognize those distinct ethnicities.
And what's being done, do you believe, in the community to help overcome these challenges?
So for us at APIA Scholars, we've been distributing scholarships for the last 20 years. We have distributed over $150 million in scholarships to over 8,600 students. We think it's really important to get the word out about our scholarships, and so that folks can know that we're even out there. We're the only national scholarship organization serving AA NHPI students in the United States.
And what's it like personally for you to be a part of this organization helping so many people around the world?
Oh, thanks for that question. It's really important to me. I myself am a Korean adoptee. I grew up in the Midwest, and I know personally from firsthand experiences how diverse our community really is, and also really understand the need. And so there's widespread need throughout all parts of the United States and its territories. I actually just got back from American Samoa, where I met with our students and scholars, and it really underscored for me the tremendous amount of work that we have to do at API Scholars moving forward.
And what would you like for our audience to take away from this conversation that we're having?
Yeah, so I think, the need, again, the need. We distribute $3.5 million in scholarships annually, but are only able to meet about 6% of those applications. So we hope that folks will go on over to our website at APIA Scholars to learn more, and especially all of you recent graduates. We hope that if you're out there looking for scholarships, that you'll apply to our scholarship. Again, it's APIAscholars.org.
Okay, and if you're interested, just head on over to that website and get more information. Noelle, thanks so much for speaking with me and for shining a light on this topic. And thank you for what you're doing, too, in helping others.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It was really a pleasure.
All right, coming up, we are talking about finances and the way people feel about their relationship with their money and their debt. That's coming up next here on Mix at 3.
Thanks so much for speaking with me and for shining a light on this topic. And thank you for what you're doing, too, in helping others.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It was really a pleasure.
All right, coming up, we are talking about finances and the way people feel about their relationship with their money and their debt. That's coming up next here on Mix at 3. Well, debt is something that you can have. It's not necessarily something that defines who you are, though. That's the message that financial therapist Dr. Erica Razier wants people to understand. Americans have an average household debt exceeding $103,000. That's made up of mortgages, student loans, credit cards. Those ages 40 to 49, they hold the largest amounts of debt.
Yeah, taking proactive actions to reduce and rid ourselves of debt is key. So what are these first steps to reduce debt and ensure a stronger financial security? That's what Zaina found out with financial therapist Dr. Erica Razier. Take a look.
What are some of the first steps to tackle debt?
Well, there's I think the biggest part of tackling debt is really being able to be okay with yourself. I've been doing this for 20 years, and in my experience with my clients at Beyond Finance especially, there are two things that really stick out to me. Debt doesn't discriminate. There's so much shame involved, but debt can happen to anybody at any time. And the second thing is debt is something you have, it's not something you are. And so many of us internalize our financial challenges or our problems as something inherently wrong with us, and it makes us feel not deserving of good things or financial peace and stability in our lives. And so the first step in really tackling our debt in a very, proactive way is getting okay with the idea that we have debt, but also being committed and disciplined to getting out of it, whatever that method might be, and there are several.
And speaking of debt and trying to get out of that, I can only imagine the psychological effect that can kind of weigh on people and have in our decision making.
Absolutely. The mental burden of having a debt burden is incredibly overwhelming, and for a lot of people invokes a lot of hopelessness. We experience shame, anxiety, stress. People have a tendency to lose sleep over it. It impedes their ability to communicate with their partners. Some people can't even tell their partners that they're in a bad financial situation because of the emotion around it. And that's, for a lot of people, that's an overwhelmingly scary place to be.
And what can we do to kind of overcome those feelings and emotions so that we can talk about this and move forward?
I think the very first step is being really kind and compassionate towards yourself and treating yourself the way you would treat another person or even a stranger. We often extend that courtesy to others and we won't do it for ourselves. And so once we've extended that kindness and compassion, I think it's really important at that point to let's move this into action and be really intentional with our financial values and close that gap between our values and our actions and look into options like debt consolidation or doing a balance transfer or using one of the more common debt payoff methods that exist.
And what are some tips that you can give to people at home if we find ourselves spending beyond a monthly set budget?
So budgeting is hard, and I really want to acknowledge that. Budgeting is one of those things that people struggle with all the time. It's a lot of times it's like going on a diet. You do really well for a little while, and then something throws you off track, which is life. And money intersects with everything, so it makes it a little bit more difficult for us to maintain our financial health on a consistent and disciplined basis, which is really important for a budget to work. So my advice is to don't stop trying. Even if you fall off of the budget train, it is okay to try something new. So much of budgeting is trial and error. The place where you want to get to is with that consistency and that continuation of, all right, this is working for me, this isn't. So it's a process of self-reflection that requires some flexibility on your part. But we're not often taught flexibility when it comes to budgeting. It's, you have to do it this way, or you have to do it this way. You do it the way that is best for you. You do it the way that is going to be the most consistent and disciplined and is easy for you to stick to. Easy is not often a word we hear when it comes to budgeting, but it should be easy and become like second nature.
And Dr. Rasher, there are resources available, correct, for people that need that extra guidance?
Absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, we have a wonderful space built for Financial Practice Week. You can visit newsroom at beyondfinance.com, and we've got all kinds of resources for budgeting. We have all sorts of wonderful information about Financial Practice Week and how you can start moving forward and taking those actionable steps, no matter how big or small.
Thanks so much, Dr. Erica Rasher. I appreciate you and a lot of your tips because I know this is going to touch a lot of people at home.
Yes, and on that note, I just want to let everybody at home know that they're not alone. Remember, debt doesn't discriminate, and it's not who you are. Get help, get support, and it's going to be okay.
There you have it. Just look for those resources. Dr. Erica, thank you.
This kitty is happy and healthy after suffering a minor catastrophe. The Clark family says Galena got shipped from Utah to California after accidentally ending up in an Amazon return box. The Clarks, fully perplexed, posted missing cat posters and put pics on social media. A week later, a phone call from a vet ended the mystery.
I just couldn't even believe that she was in California. I thought it was a prank.
Turns out, a simple feline folly. Galena was found inside a box the family sent back to Amazon. She spent 6 days in the package without food before being found by a worker. An employee named Brandy took the cat to a vet who helped track down the Clarks, and they hopped a flight the next day to go pick up their pet.
Like, it was just the best, because I know that under other circumstances that she wouldn't have been found.
For Take a Look at This, I'm Patrick Cornell.
And this is why you get the 2-day shipping.
When you think we've seen everything in
6
life.
days.
Now the marathon guy, 25 stops to taste wine.
Yeah.
And he still made it to the finish line?
21.
Okay.
21 out of 25 correct.
That's impressive.
Well, actually, he kind of
Cheers,
veered
you.
off and ended up being in another marathon, but he didn't even
Exactly,
realize, so
yes.
it didn't really matter. Hey, no Mix at 3 tomorrow, but we will catch you back 2 days from now. So have a great one, guys.
All right. Thanks for watching.